doing quite a lot of it. Morning, evening, before class, after class. So we're repeating, and this is, we can call it also as a way of prayer. So our topic is prayer. Yes, Swami, I need some okay here from the first row. You know, the orange people, if they are happy, we're okay. If not, we're in trouble. Just for you to know. Okay. So I do apologize before the staff of the ashram. You know, we have some speakers that come to the ashram, and somehow some of those presentations have not changed over 20 or 30 years. And the moment we see it on the, you know, on the screen, you need to make a special effort to remain awake. They may bring a whole new content to it, but I'm just giving it as an example. So I apologize because this stuff I must have heard and seen it. Just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. So Swami Shivananda, this is from his words from the Bliss Divine. The kitten meows, and you've heard those. We have the four-legged here, meowing occasionally, but most of them don't like to be taken by the neck. Their mother long left them to be independent. And the cat runs to aid it and carries it away. So it is nature. Nature is taking care of it. Like the baby cries, hopefully the mother, when she hears it, she takes the baby, right, to take care of it. Even so, the devotee cries, and the Lord comes to his rescue. So we're talking about very potent moments. Swami Shivananda says the devotee cries. Have you ever cried when you were in trouble? Yes, no, maybe, yes. These are the times that we are being hurt. We can repeat different prayers, but if they don't have the content or the really deep feeling behind them, the intention behind, then they are like lukewarm, prayers. And here Swami Shivananda says something very special to remind us. When the devotee cries, devotee means all of us, hopefully, the Lord comes to the rescue. So unless the call for the divine is really strong from the bottom of our heart, some sounds are there on the subtle plane, but the response is not coming yet. Sometimes we cry very hardly and the response is not coming yet. And the emphasis is on yet. Yeah. Many times we think, okay, I have a list of things that I need to fix or to have them, and this is what I pray about, like a shopping list, and things are not happening. So this is where the difference between what I need and what I want. Many times when I pray for something and it is not yet time, and when we let go of it, it may have been an earnest prayer at a certain time, but we couldn't recognize the answer, and after a while it comes. And if you reflect on it, you understand, you or me, we needed to go through some experiences, some processes for this answer to come and for us really to take it deeply into our life. Ever experienced it in your life? Yeah, I see only one head nodding. Yes, we have this experience. I'm talking about life, not something out there. It is our life. So Swami Shivananda says, when Christ cries, earnest. This is the idea here. Prayer is depending on God for help in distress. Prayer is giving an opportunity to God to comfort the devotee. So sometimes people may feel, or we may feel we are praying and we don't hear any response, but actually on a deeper level, we are being encouraged that when we need help, when we really look for help, we actually give an opportunity to the divine to come, but we need to, to make the first effort, first step. A little story in between. There was a village, probably in India, I don't know, the story comes from there. And one of the people, he was a miser. He fell into a pit. And he was crying for help. So the villagers came. They wanted to help him. Said, okay, just give your hand, give your hand. Nothing is happening. And then a yogi walks by and says, what's the commotion? What's happening? So they say, he's in the pit. He wants out. We want his hand, and he cannot. He doesn't give his hand. He will not do that. So how can we help him? So the yogi said, no problem. He comes, on the edge of the pit, looking down. It's quite dark there. The person is in distress. Please help me, help me. So the yogi says, take my hand. Take my hand. So the miser heard take, he was ready. See, this is like with us. We are misers in this sense. If we really want this help from the divine, we need to take a little step or to extend our hand a little bit so the help will come our way. And when we do that, things are shifting and happening in a way, many times in a way that we couldn't even dream of or imagine. So prayer is lightening the heaviness of your heart by opening it to God. Prayer is expecting God to decide what is best for you when you are in dilemma. And this is a difficult one, right? Because we have a shopping list. I'm just putting in brackets, shopping list. Because we have an idea or think that we have an idea what we really need at a certain time. And it's not that we don't. But there are so many layers to our knowing and understanding what we want. And here it is a place actually that when we come to it, it means that we are really allowing the divine presence or God to have place in our life, in our heart. And it may not go along with what we thought, meaning what we thought what the ego wanted. But there needs to be a pure and deep intention for this help and to be able to accept what comes. This is difficult because if I think that I will be helped in one way and suddenly the help comes another way, I will not be even able to see it or to understand the effect of it. So here really to depending on God, you can say God is up there, God is right here in every single one of us. And many times we may need some support, God provided teachers and guides so we can get that support, but really to be at that place that we're willing to let go of our concepts of how things should be. And when we come to the point of stepping aside or stepping back a little, then the perspective changes. Just think about your phone when you are playing and you want to take a picture. Close, you see a detail. When you're zooming it out, then the picture is much broader. And then we can get a different perspective. But here really to go to the highest perspective. And Swami Shivananda says, so it is from Swami Shivananda, from from distress or despair, man learns prayer. Man or woman learns prayer. So for most of us, as long as the plan is going according to our plan, we don't pray. But then when we are in distress, when we have tried so many things and it's not working this way or that way, then we really ask, okay, now what? And then there is a good chance that we ask for the highest support, which is from the divine. So prayer is part of Bhakti Yoga, or the yoga of devotion. But prayer is something we don't need even to put it under any title, because prayer is a natural thing. As humans, this is a part of the capacity to pray is part of our software. We came with it. It's installed in us already. It just needs to be activated and used. So with the Bhakti way, which is the way of learning to surrender, because for most of us, it's not something natural. The ego is holding very strongly to the opinions and perceptions. And then there is jnana, and here is like a little image. So the cat, the way of the bhakti, the devotee, okay, take me wherever I need to go. I don't understand it, but I trust you. This one looks like one of our kids here. The other one looks my Momo. And of course, there is the other way, which is the way that the apes are representing. And this is a tough one. Actually, both of them are not easy, because in order really to have really to surrender, we need to let go of the ego. The other one, like the monkey, if the monkey baby is not holding to the mother really strongly, it will die in a second because she's jumping, and the tiny one is holding on to her. So perseverance. And in yoga, we have bhakti, which is devotion. We have the jnana yoga is, of course, we have others, but jnana yoga is representing the capacity to discriminate, use our capacity of a sharp intellect and high intellect, not intellect how to win the lottery, but higher intellect in discrimination of what is real and what is ephemeral. But prayer comes from the heart, so this is bhakti. Prayer is not asking. Prayer is communion with God through single-minded devotion. So actually, in any form of yoga that we practice, be it karma yoga, the yoga of selfless action, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, of course, meditation, concentration, and jnana yoga, the development of concentration is needed. And here it is single-minded devotion or concentration on God. So it doesn't matter where the mind wanders, just like when we're sitting for silent meditation. We probably couldn't count how many times the mind is taking, like, a walk, just distracted through the time that we are trying to bring it back to the focal point and to the mantra. Here, the mind always goes back to God, the remembrance of that presence. Prayer is nearness to God. So it is one of the ways in which we don't need to control our mind and control our senses. We're using all these in the best way through purification to connect to the divine. So nearness. Like those of you who are studying or studied or know the Bhagavad Gita, the relationship between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, it's actually very intimate, very close. They are close friends. And at some point when Arjuna recognizes, oh my God, this is actually God, he's terrified. And when he's given the vision of the divine, he's asking for it. He's asking because he knows that Lord Krishna is his friend and cousin and so on will probably give it to him. But once he sees it, he says, no, stop it. But there is this closeness, very intimate relationship. And this kind of relationship is gradually developed. Can be developed between us and the divine. Prayer is tuning the mind with God, or to God, I would say. It's like, the string instrument, the guitar. I was making an effort to tune it in my room, certain temperature. I'm sure it doesn't sound the same now. It needs fine tuning. The same with our mind. So you tune it, you bring it to the center of the sound, and then it goes away, and then we come back, goes away, come back. So it is bringing the attention again and again to the main focus. In this case, the main focus is God. Prayer is fixing the mind on God. So it doesn't matter where the mind wanders, how many dramas were going on in the mind. Have you noticed the dramas in the mind? Yes. Yeah. We projected, we wrote the script of the drama, we're the players, we're also the observers, so all this is going, but then we come back, just like in the silent meditation, back to the mantra, back to the focal point. So here, fixing the mind on God. Prayer is meditation on God. Prayer is surrendering oneself to God. The two is missing here, to God completely. So this is like, we know it, the expression, thy will be done. You heard it, we know it. Is it easy? If we really made an effort, is it easy? The thy will be done, because thy will be done means it's not according to my plan. It's not easy to surrender. It's really being in the moment and seeing what is happening, being able to accept it. Doesn't mean that we could become like zombies that are not doing anything. No. We are doing our best, and God does the rest. And for us, those of us who knew Swami Vishnu, we could see it. He would make any possible effort to make changes where he thought it was needed. And then when there was, like the walls were putting up again and again, at some point he would say, okay, he would say, Master doesn't want it now. He would always refer to his guru as the higher. Prayer is melting the mind and ego in silence is in God. So when we repeat the mantras, it's a form of prayer. When we are chanting, it is a form of prayer. Silence is that communion and coming to that place of stopping. Prayer represents a mystic state when the individual consciousness is absorbed in God. And if we are talking about yoga, that union between the individual soul and the ultimate. Prayer is uplifting the soul to God. It is an act of love and adoration of God. Prayer is thanksgiving to God for all his blessings. For all his blessings. And usually, just like we have a list of what we want, we may say, okay, this is a blessing, but this is not a blessing. But if you just stop for a moment and recall moments throughout your life, times that were challenging and difficult, maybe you didn't even know how to step out of it. And then life happens, and you do, and you saw that was the worst thing that ever happened to you. And only after a while, it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months, it could be years. Suddenly you realize, unless that happened, which you thought was so difficult, a whole shift, a whole direction of your life path couldn't have happened. Anyone experienced it? Yeah. Many of us find ourselves on this journey due to those moments. So here, all his blessings. Is it easy? No. No, our ego is all the time judging and thinking and plotting. Prayer is an invocation, a calling forth of spiritual force. Force is ever flowing through the human heart, mind, and soul. So here Swami Sivananda is talking about the totality of it. Prayer is not in the head. It is a whole event, if you can call it such. So human heart, mind, and soul. Everything is interconnected and everything is tuned to the highest. Prayer's mighty spiritual force, it is as real as the force of gravity or attraction. And I trust that many of you, not if all of you, have the experience of life. There are moments that you felt really in distress, either because of something that took place in your life or someone that you were concerned about, and you could only pray, and you prayed very, very earnestly, and then things started to shift and change. Many times people come and ask, how can I help this or that? Many times it is with children, rebelling and all kinds of things. So we can explain, if you have children, you can explain, or friends, family, you can explain. But many times that person doesn't want to hear anything. Just complaining, doesn't want any help. How can we help? Just pray. Pray for them. Not only for them. When we are praying, these vibrational happening in this system, right? And we are all interconnected energetically. The more the higher the energy, it is affecting and blessing everyone. So whether they know it consciously or not, the prayer is working. Sometimes people ask for it, so they are more open. They may, feel it and so on. But whether they know or not, it is still working. So if you have some rebels there that don't want to get better, physically, mentally, emotionally, And there is nothing else you can do. Just pray for them from the heart, not with the judgment. Just pray for them. The divine knows how to do it, how to direct whatever is needed there. Prayer is the very essence of religion. It is the very core of man's life. No man or woman can live without prayer because it's a natural outcoming or outpouring of the heart. And we're running out of time, so we'll do just one chant. Actually, it is in the chant book, in the English. Return again. Can you see which page? I have it here. It's in English, so it shouldn't be a big thing. This is not. 71. Okay. Okay, so page 71. We'll do it call and response, just like we did in the chat. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Yod. Can we have sound for the tablas? Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace. Om Bolo Satguru Sivananda Maharaj Ki. Shri Swami Vishnudevananda Maharaj Ki. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om.
Om Namah Shivaya. The schedule for tomorrow, we have a morning satsang at 6 a.m. and it is with Swami Paramananda on spiritual resolves, daily routine and spiritual diary. It will be here in the garden platform. At 8 we have a yoga class for all levels on the Bay platform. At 9:45 brunch in the dining area. 11 Ashram welcome and history tour, living from the reception for all the new guests or those who didn't do the tour. At 12 there is a workshop with Pranava Chaitanya on creating yogic lifestyle at home. This is from 12 to 1:30 in the Annapurna Devi house.